What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man Fire himself, Half Pint once again, and man, does it feel good to say that again! Giga Chad Pint here to talk about the brand new dev diary that just recently came out. And by just recently, I mean February 21st. That was almost 2 weeks ago. But I digress. Today we have new information coming straight from the developers about the new Subverse update. And I figure we go ahead and go straight through it, for old time's sake. Starts off by saying, "Hi everyone, the Terran release is currently in testing, and we're on track for the projected release of early March. We will communicate the exact release date after the team is comfortable with the state of the build. Obviously, we would have loved to get it out in January for you guys, but the holidays brought with them several management changes and team restructuring, which slowed down our progress more than we would have liked. The new lead design and our game director, DC, will have a separate dev diary coming soon where they outline the revamps going on and where the game philosophy is heading towards. But in the meantime, the team is back with a progress update as they put in the finishing touches of Terran." And hold on, just freeze everything. Okay, the fact that people still complain that they take a long time when they're being this transparent, show this many in-game screenshots and things they're working on for brand new updates, and giant games that are live service such as Halo Infinite can't even communicate with fans about anything happening with bug fixes for their game for months. They're radio silent. Dude, AAA companies fucking suck. Anyways, needless to say, Studio Foe is doing an excellent job when it comes to communicating with their audience. A lot of smaller indie teams even struggle to do this, which is understandable, and I'm glad to see the clear communication coming from this team. We then get some quotes from some of the people working on the game, first starting off with Money Shot in the animation department saying, "I dipped my toes into lighting last time around with Ela's set. And this time I was tasked with adding lights and post-processing to all the Pandora scenes, including the upcoming releases. It is an ever-growing skill to produce a nicely lit scene and to keep it well optimized at the same time. Great fun." We then move on to Mansky saying, "Right now I'm working on Terran's dating animations, professional animator that I am. I began by filming my method acting of a catgirl's glee to purposefully obtain body language references, since the deadline is tight. Real tight. I've been working in stages. First, I tackled the idol animation. With that as an established foundation, I focus on the lip sync of all of her reactions. The remaining time I dedicate to animating her expressions and body as she reacts to the dating gifs." Oh, you know that's right. Compared to the other... so fucking retarded. Compared to the other girls, Terran has bouts of shyness, so the VA's performance was a helpful guide in animating that characteristic. So there you go, you beta males that like furries and like shy girls. You're covered and good to go. Damn, bro, let's just put the shade on them. I'm just saying, short stacks for the win. Fight me in the comments down below. Or Discord, link down below. You can get in there. Okay. I got the name this time. Here we go. The name is Massimo Decimo Meridio. Yo, it's like a fucking Harry Potter spell or something. After diving into spaceships and lip sync animation, I had the chance to work on a special scene for a future content patch involving Demi. All I can say is that Demi's extremely sexy. Yeah, tell us something we don't know. And she knows how to tease the captain. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Also, I just want to point out real quick that a lot of the pictures, and I mean like probably 80 to 90% of the pictures on here, I cannot show for obvious YouTube reasons. So feel free to click the link down below and it'll take you straight to the actual dev blog where you can take a look at the blog itself and the pictures and all that good stuff. There's some pretty juicy content in here that's coming out in the next update. So if you want to see that early on, feel free to do that. I just can't do it here. Anyways, Yaksky now says, "I'm working on some not safe for work content, for the next block involving Demi. We're trying out some new, more flexible poses for her to take advantage of her excellent rigging by Rocky. Curious to see what that exactly entails, but they're trying something new and I'm always down for that." Mendez says, "Been working on cutscenes since last time we spoke. The Terran patch has less of them than Ela's block, but they are a lot more meaningful. There's a few shots that I'm pretty excited for you all to see, since I think they're some of the best ones I've done for Subverse so far. Also, here's Killy's butt. Nice. Again, can't show that. And he brings up a good point here where he says this one's going to have less Pandora scenes, but they're more meaningful. And this was a topic that I actually tackled before the Alacia update even came out. We were hearing that there was the most Pandora scenes of all time. And the big thing I said, quality over quantity, we'll have to wait and see. But around that time, they were even talking about how they were going to improve upon Pandora, but they were releasing the stuff that they had already worked on. So it's nice to see that they aren't just pumping out content now and they're looking for more quality inside of it. And I'm curious to really see what they're looking for when it comes to that sort of quality. What are we tackling? You know, are you just going for more detail, or is it because we might be spending more time with interactable sort of Pandora scenes? Because quite frankly, that's what we need. Still a topic for another day if I get around to making a video. Sorry, college work has taken up all of my time. Bronca says, lately I've been given the task of lighting some cinematic shots as Terran is about to get her hands on a very powerful artifact. I am focusing on bringing a global light shaft on her. Huh? The good thing with cinematics is that I don't have to care about optimization at all, so I can go crazy with the lights. It's a lot of fun. You'll love to see it. Adela Von Falk says, I'm working on combat animation design for some upcoming waifus. The main thing the director wanted was a more anime feel for the moves and a lot more dynamic, so I'm trying to deliver upon that. You'll notice that he says for the upcoming waifus, and he didn't say that specifically for Terran. So it looks like going forward, they're looking for more anime-looking, feeling animations and moves and such for the upcoming waifus. I'm pretty excited to see what that looks like. I mean, that could really add a bit more action or visual eye candy when it comes to grid combat, because we know that's something that they're really working on. They've emphasized that a couple of times, and looks like that's one of the ways they're going to be improving the visuals for grid combat. We also know there's a new UI overhaul coming as well, and I think they show some of it later in this update. I'll have to take a look and bring you up to speed on that one. We then move on to the programming part of the blog. Starting off with Hungry JJ, the one, the veteran himself. Since the last dev diary, I have finished up the Terran stealth mission, worked on a lot of the back-end data tables, and made some UI updates. See what I mean? Lately, I've been assisting with audio integration where various sounds need to be triggered in Pandora, space combat, and grid combat. Nice. You'll love to see it. And quite frankly, I am hella stoked to see what this stealth mission looks like. We've got some glimpses. We've even got glimpses of this stealth mission pretty early on. I believe I talked about it in this video here, where one of the early blogs we had before the game even came out, they were already working on this mission. So it goes to show how long development really takes for these blocks. They don't just work on it right after the next block. You know, there's a lot of back-end work that happens before the stuff even gets announced. This was one of those missions that probably took a long time to work on. I'm very excited to see how this one turns out. Another veteran, or I keep saying that, it's just names that I recognize, Professor Bang Dev says, I've worked on lots of particle effects over the last month, some of them for pre-rendered content, and some for some actual gameplay. There's an important scene that needs finalized and giving it a bit more of a striking look. On the cinematic side, I had a lot of flashy effects, because in this release, you'll see more pretty complex scenes. Looking forward to that as always. Mrs. Mancrick says, I've mostly been working on Pandora fluids and integration this month, but I've also been finishing up Terran's poses and physics in the gallery. Now, again, although I'm going to say the gallery is not really my thing, I'm going to be real with you guys. I still feel like it is extremely underrated, because compared to other games, there's a lot inside this gallery mode. I'm kind of excited to see where this gallery mode goes by the time the game releases, because you can already see some of the stuff that they're adding. You know, skins, poses, backgrounds, special effects to it, and a lot of that stuff is already in there. It's just there's more that's going to be added as the game comes out, and of course more waifus as well. You take screenshots, you can already put them in the bedroom, save them in your computer, use them for what the fuck ever you want to do. So I mean, you can kind of do what you want with those character models and put them in poses without having to learn Blender or modding or Source Filmmaker. So it's nice that they actually took the time to add something like this to the game. They're having some fun with it, and also allowing the audience to have some fun with it too. So again, not my thing, but I know this might be something great for other people. Really underrated, great feature. Timma returns once again. I fucking love saying that name. Timma returns once again to say, this month I've been working on the UI overhaul for grid combat. See, I said it, call it. This month I've been working on a UI overhaul for Grid Combat, as well as a few other minor UI changes, such as the gallery backgrounds now have a buy preview, for example. Yo, you'll love to see it. With the new lead design on board, there's also been some changes to the tactical combat, and we've been hatching up plans to improve upon it even more on the next block. Hold up, let me make sure I read that right. With the new lead design on board, there's also been some changes to the tactical combat. Really? Okay, so it looks like they're really trying to double down on improving grid combat and maybe even taking a different approach for it. That is what I want to hear more about. I want to hear more about that stuff right there. And I'm glad to hear they're really taking the advice in from the fans and saying, okay, this is what they want, this is where we're struggling in, and here's how we're going to improve upon it. This right here is what I'm talking about. These are some devs that have their ears to the ground and is so underrated about their transparency, the work they're putting in, the improvements. Yes, it sucks that it's a game that is a little bit niche because the type of games it is, and on top of that, it's taken a long time for the game to come out, but man, they're doing a great job at least sticking to a schedule and being completely transparent. I can't say transparent enough because this is something that so many devs should take some notes on, my guy. So congratulations, Timma, you are slowly becoming my favorite, and not just because it's fun to say your name. Timma! The dude's fixing grid combat. Up next, we have Hentai Kohai. Again, very sorry if I missaid your name or mispronounced it. For this month, I've been working on the implementation of the reworked UI, specifically for the grid combat and the balancing of the random scenarios. Lots of updated assets are also rolling in, so I also do the integration and testing for some of those. So he's the kind of guy that deals with like importing the different assets within the engine, which is great. Also, great to hear that he's working on the reworked UI as well, and something about balancing of the random scenarios. Now, are we talking about the fact that we have random side missions that we do, or are we talking about, or is there like randomized side missions where it's like RNG based? I don't know, kind of curious to hear about that. I feel like if that was the case though, they would make it a little bit more clear that's what they were targeting, so I don't want to read into that too much. I think it's more they're talking about the random side planets that we land on. I know they're working on trying to make those a bit more how do I say this, important, worth doing, because right now it feels like they're all just the same thing and it gets really repetitive. So I'm glad to hear they're adding some differences to it. I would still love to see like challenges coming in the future. You know, this one is a ranged only planet. This one, you take damage every turn, or the enemies are huge, they're 2 times the size, right? There's a giant wall in the middle of the map. I don't know. I've been saying this a lot. I'm looking forward to this, but it looks like they've got some plan in motion when it comes to grid combat, and right now they're working specifically on how the combat itself works. I want to see what that's like, and I feel like we're not really going to hear much about that until they start teasing for the next block after Terran. So, fingers crossed. I'm excited to hear about it. Guys, lay it on me. Let me hear what you have for combat. I would love to give you my open opinions on what you guys have for grid combat because I want this game to succeed. Trust me. Up next, we have the one, the only, the Samantha Flowers, saying, hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Markiplier. No! Why does she keep saying that line? Hello, everyone. I've been hard at work chipping away at the sound design for the new Imperium units you'll be facing off against in this upcoming Terran update. The theme I was given was, they are righteous and utilize holy magic, but also have sticks up their asses. You know, that's a great way to put it. It's a very ethereal, I think is the word I'm looking for. More importantly, I've been having fun getting to lay down quite a few tracks for the update story cinematics. Can't wait for you to all see how they unfold. And this is what I'm talking about exactly right here. The fact that they have, you know, a lot of diverse people working here. Diverse as in, you don't just have one person working multiple roles. You have your audio director. You have several animation people in that department. And you also have a lot of people working on like UI or the visuals and that sort of stuff. And it's great to see that they all have specific tasks. Samantha Flowers here specifically, when the director has the vision in mind, says, okay, you're working on these characters right now. Here's the key phrase that you should be thinking of when designing these guys. It's the same thing they did for Halo when they told Marty O'Donnell when he was composing the music, hey, when it comes to the music, we want something ancient, mysterious, and epic. And he made the entire Halo theme based upon those 3 words. So it's great to hear that they are sticking to a vision to really improve upon the world, and a good way to take it from like a director's mind and put it out for people to play. It's a very long-winded way of me saying I'm excited. Up next, we have the art and modeling department, starting off with WTX saying, further expanding on the locations the crew will be visiting in the future. I got to work on this mysterious facility set on a snowy hillside. If only you knew what lurks within its frosty metal walls. I'm also putting together this very unusual alien palace, packed to the brim with gaudy sci-fi decor and lots of neon. Very exciting to see. I love the visuals going on here. Looks very nice, dude. Doing some great work. But I'm most importantly hoping that we got some interaction inside of that palace. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some grid combat, find the ship down there. I don't know. Let's get a little creative. I'm just saying though, it would be dope if you had one of those grid missions where like you moved the character through a board, right? Like I've talked about this multiple times, where you don't just do grid combat, but you set up a grid and you have the character move throughout the room, and you can maybe load another grid or something like that. It's cool. You know, it's not just grid combat, grid combat, grid combat. Sometimes it's moving the characters throughout the world as well. Sorry, I'm going off the beaten path again. I'm excited to see what the future holds. Portsman comes in and says, it's been mostly a month of working on grid combat and space combat models, some of which are part of the chapter after Terran plus side quest models. So I'm noticing a theme here. A lot of them are working on the combat, and a lot of it will be coming after the Terran update. But again, you gotta appreciate the fact that they're at least talking about it, even though it's happening after the Terran block. They're not holding back. They're saying this is what we're working on. So it looks like the next block is gonna be combat focused when it comes to what the update's gonna bring. A lot of exciting stuff. They always have a way of just like getting you excited for the next update after a current update's in the moment just coming out. It's great, man. Aaron the Sketchy says, hi guys, so here we are, about to release some new content that we already love and we're sure you will too. As I've only been a member of this team for a few months, this was the first chapter I've worked on, and I want to say it's been a creative and fun experience. Finishing the work for the first chapter you're part of conveys a unique kind of joy, made stronger especially if you happen to look forward to the next one. I'm really thankful for all the good vibes I received from both you and the Subverse team about the new UI, and I can't wait to work on more of the game. Aaron, it's great to have you on board. I'm very excited to see the stuff that you have brought into this new chapter, man, and I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself. I look forward to hearing more, and you'll hear plenty of feedback coming from me, that's for sure. Some positives and criticals. I'll keep you on your toes, my guy. I got you covered, all right? And then we move on to the juniors. Tipper is just being bullied, and I feel so bad for this guy because he made one mistake. Tipper goes on to say, my transformation from junior dev to an expert porn game developer is almost complete. I didn't want to make wall of text here, so I created a blog to talk about my Unreal software endeavors. Please read if you're interested at tipper.blog. Really? Okay, he actually has quite the blog here. Let's take a read of this. I thought it would be a good idea to write about my Unreal Engine game design experience in a blog. Writing the blog will hopefully help to structure my objectives and to keep my focus on the goals. At the same time, I hope this info could be useful for the supporters of Subverse. Yeah, it gives us kind of an insight of the people who are working on the project. Prior to Subverse, I had been delivering UI applications for a long time, very long time. The feedback about my UI design work has been quite positive. Having this UI design background move to the game design, I feel it quite natural. The problem is, my gaming experience stopped back in the late 90s with Caesar III, lol. Never mind, C++ has not changed much since then. By developing Subverse, obviously I cannot rely on my Caesar III experience, even if I built quite nice aqueducts in that game. To understand how we can make Subverse a much better game, I'm gathering user feedback by reading suggestions, forums, comments, dev diary comments, user requests, and watching YouTube reviews. Based on the feedback, I understand what the main issues with the game are. I must get competent with the Unreal Engine very soon. What is the best way to learn a new application development framework? In my experience, the quickest way to learn new things in software development is to work on concrete tasks. To learn Unreal Engine, I started prototyping things and creating software pieces. Please note that this is my personal experience. Engine learning, R&D activity, and what goes on into game depends on our new game designer. To move forward quickly, I started to create a mini dating system. This is a generic prototyping effort that connects the adult scenes with the story. The system also allows romantic interactions between the player and the waifus. Whether or not such things should be in Subverse, I would be happy to hear your opinion. I also started to create minigames. The idea is to increase your interaction with the waifus via various minigames. I am prototyping to expose this to the player via a branch of dialogue. The branching dialogue I'm developing is using JSON input, so we can handle complex branching dialogue scenarios. These are good use cases to get familiar with the Unreal Engine C++. I am experimenting with a generic, non-Subverse specific, but a generic software module. Skill tree to manage the player's game-wide progress. What a dating system! The various minigames, branching dialogue, skill trees make Subverse a better game. Let me know, please, what you think. Disclaimer, again, please note what I am doing now is pure R&D to learn Unreal Engine. This is not a roadmap for Subverse. All of the above is a software development experiment. What goes into the game is a different matter. What matter is to transform Subverse into a very good game. I'm committed to delivering software development to achieve that objective. Thanks for your support. Talk to you soon again. Dude, this is awesome. I am so glad Tipper took the time to publish this blog and give us some insights into what he's doing. I mean, he seems to be a veteran within the industry. I mean, sure, as he said here, it's been a hot minute since he's really dipped his toes in that side of that sort of work, but he's getting back into it. And as a dude that's slowly getting into game design himself, thanks to some awesome college work, it's cool to hear these insights as well. He's currently in the process of trying different ideas for Subverse. Again, as a disclaimer, as he said, this stuff is not currently in Subverse, and it's not a roadmap either. It's him just testing it. It's specifically just R&D from one guy. So don't say, this is possibly coming to the game. It's more of, let me just see if this works real quick. Let me hear what the audience even thinks about this before we even think about implementing this. And quite frankly, they're all great ideas. I love the idea of branching dialogue to get into some mini games. I feel like that's kind of what Pandora lacks is, when I was saying like interaction, mini games specifically can help out substantially with that sort of stuff. It can help out with that load of people feeling like it's looping GIFs. So I think that would be a great start. It looks like the mini games aren't just for Pandora though. But overall, I think it's a great idea. This game seems to be a collage of a lot of different genres, and they're currently working to blend these genres together to make it seem less like you're playing different genres and to seem like you're playing more of one cohesive world together. And that's the way it should be, is it should be blended together as one place. And they're slowly getting to that. And that's great. You know, it's still early access. We'll have to see where it goes. Tibber, thanks for the insight, my dude. I will be sure to give you all feedback, positive and critical. You've been a great asset to the team, and it's been great hearing from you. I like the fact that the one video I made, which was basically bashing on Studio Foe, and I kind of feel bad for that, but it was honest feedback, was like the one video I finally got a comment from Studio Foe's official YouTube account, and I also got a comment from Tipper himself as well. I felt kind of bad. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, this is the one that got their attention. But yeah, Tipper's like, hey man, yeah, we're gonna work on it, we're gonna improve upon it. And it looks like Tipper is doing a great job taking some feedback and applying it to the future of the game. That's the sort of stuff that we want to see. Overall, a jam-packed dev diary. There wasn't a lot of pictures that I could A, show, or B, that was really showing new content. A lot of it was just more Pandora sort of stuff. But that's perfectly fine because the information we got specifically really gets me excited. Because we were hearing a lot of stuff. Because when I glanced over this, I'm like, it looks like it's just, you know, another dev diary. It's not going to be a real standout one. But actually reading into this was great, man. There's a lot of information saying that, hey, we're overhauling Great Combat, and you're probably going to be seeing it the next block. So, exciting stuff. Next block meaning, you know, after the Terran block. So, the one after the one that's coming out pretty soon. Great stuff. I am hella stoked to see what's coming in the game pretty soon. All we know so far is that the new update will be coming out sometime, it says early March. I'm kind of afraid of that date. For the love of God, I hope it works with my schedule. I would love to play this game day one. But if it's coming out early March, I'm not going to be able to call a day off work in advance for it. And if it's during a school day, fingers crossed it happens to be during spring break, which happens, I think, in like next 2 weeks. We'll see. We'll see. If it comes out in 2 weeks, I'm Gucci, man. I'm good to go. I'll knock this shit out of the park. Man, I fucking hate my schedule right now. I'm very excited for the future of Subverse. You guys let me know down below what you thought and your current thoughts of the game, or fight me about the best waifu. But here's the thing, it's short stacks. You already lose. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Oh! it's good to be back, baby.